Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So, good morning, Cindy. Good morning. So, listen, most of you know that I'm going to be teaching some freestanding lace projects at Applique Getaway the end of next month. And in my searching, and I was searching for graphics to digitize to a freestanding lace project. I don't know if it's because of my search, um, but a type of freestanding lace um, popped up on my search. Um, and I've heard of this lace. I've never used it, never um, have not made any previous projects with it. Um, I knew it was out there, not really overly familiar. Good morning, Barb. Good morning. I'm not overly familiar with the type of lace it is, but I thought I would do some investigating and I found some pretty interesting things. The stuff is called Battenburg Lace. I'm not quite sure how it's made by hand. Let me just let me get over here. Oops, that's some lace I'm working on for the projects. Oops, that's not where I want to be. Where'd it go? I know I have it. Ah, there we are. Excuse me. So I did a Google search, Battenburg Lace. Battenburg Lace is actually an American development. Uh, Sarah Hadley. Can you see all of this? No, probably not. Sarah Hadley of New York. The lace was named either in honor of a wedding of Princess Beatrice, Queen Victoria's youngest daughter, to Prince Henry of Battenberg, or from the widowed Princess Beatrice. It's made using bobbins and needles, or needles alone. Um, Much like tatting, I would think. No, wait. I think I know. I just had an aha moment. Let's see. Do see what we get here. Making Battenberg Lace. You know what I'm doing here? I'm looking for. Nope. Not that we're going to watch an hour of this. Making Battenberg Lace. I'm sure that yes, it is made for doilies. Yes, like tatting. Um, it's very intricate, very exciting. But honestly, I don't have the patience to do something like this. I used to crochet. My mom and I would sit for hours in the evening. Good afternoon. Oh, sorry. Good morning, Doug. We used to sit for hours in crochet. My mom made some of the most beautiful doilies. Um, but I don't think and this is a skill. This is a skill that it's not being taught. It's going to be a lost art at some point. So what we're going to do, we're not going to make this type of hand tied Battenberg lace. No, we're not. we are going to we're going to do it on the embroidery machine. So anyways, what did we do here? Where am I going back? I'm going back to, so I got an email, and the email came from Urban Threads. We all know Urban Threads. Do we all know Urban Threads? Here, I think I got them up here. Let me go back here, go back here. Oh, yeah. Here, I did a Google search. Look at some of these images. And these commercial pieces, I'm sure, are made using a machine. I would think, anyways. But this piece here is probably handmade. This piece, wait until you see this piece. But look at Cindy. Look at look at this look at this lace. Can you see this? Granted, I would put, something under it, but look at that. I mentioned Cindy specifically because she is making a mother of the bride dress to wear to her daughter's wedding. And of course, it's got some lace bits to it. But look at this, isn't it beautiful? Okay, so I went to, that would take hours. You are absolutely right. Yeah, tatting. I'm going to pop up here. Barb is saying that Battenburg is lost, much like tatting, that she had learned tatting from um, an elderly lady that had beautiful work. I have some in Battenburg embroidery files. My grandmother used to tat. She did some beautiful pieces. It is so fine. The Sorry, Bella wants to say hello. It is such fine work. There she is. Oh, wait, she doesn't want us. She wants the window. Excuse me a moment. She has gone to uh, make a habit of sitting in the window where the cats usually sit. And of course, now she's going to start barking. So, anyways, hey. So, anyways, I followed the link to the website. This isn't going to work. To the website, and it took me to Embroidery Library, which we know is one of the urban threads. Embroidery Library and Urban Thread. Hey, Machine, hello. My apologies for the dog barking. The guys, my brother and my husband, are sitting outside, so um, she is a bit excited. I used to love doing hand. I'm assuming you mean hand needlework. I used to, but you know, the eyes don't let it happen anymore. So I followed the link, and it took me to Embroidery Library, where I did a search for Battenburg, and look at these pieces. This is the piece that drew me in. I went ahead and bought this piece for today. But look at this. Tell your puppy I'm apologizing. Um, Doug's new puppy is reacting to my puppy, wondering where she is. But look at these pieces. Are they not beautiful? And the nice thing about some of these, look, Cindy, bring back any any thoughts, any memories from last year? Last year, Cindy and I did some fall leaves in a freestanding lace. But these are beautiful. So what I did was I bought the Battenburg Lace cinch bag, and that's what this is. There's actually two parts to it. There are two parts to it. There's a front and a back, and once you've embroidered them out and cleaned them out, you stitch them together and you weave a ribbon all the way around so that you can cinch it. Now, I am going to pull all of this back into a single color. I'm going to hide these two because, we don't need to see these yet. And hide. Okay. So in this particular piece, because it is, hey, Letty, how you doing? Yeah, my leaves, but your construction. You did a beautiful job on that piece. Now this one is, compared to the others that were on the website, this one has a lot more detail. It's a little more filled in than some of the others. And that's because it's a bag. It's designed to hold stuff. So you don't want stuff falling through. But I want you to see, I want you to see the patterns. I'm going to enlarge this. Oops, that's too big. I want you to see the patterns. Look at this. You see this? And up here, the arches. Exactly. I might, depending on what my intention is to put in the bag. For example, if I was doing a potpourri bag, I would not put a lining in there. If I was going to use it to hold a piece of jewelry, for example, yes, I would line it. And Battenberg would be beautiful edging on christening gowns. The tatted pieces that my grandmother used to make would go on the edges of the opening of like pillowcases and along the edge of the sheet bedding, the top sheet. But look at the pattern. The one thing I want you to see here is the planning that had to go into this piece. And we're just going to use a running stitch here because I want you to see this would all have to have been drawn out in some way to make sure that all the patterns interlock and tied together. Which takes me to unhide. Unhide all. So one of the things that we need to know when we create Cindy wants to know if basically any kind of lace can be called Battenberg. The lace I'm doing right now might fall into a Battenberg category. I've seen the lace you're working on, beautiful pieces, and I'm going to say yes in the sense the parts Battenberg does not have like a background lace like the um, mesh. What is the mesh? um, tulle. All right. A lot of lace can be stitched onto tulle to give the lace stability and support. To give the lace stability and support. Um, which again allows you to cut it out and place it in different locations, like an applique, a hand applique type procedure. Battenburg doesn't have any of that. If we were to do a standard traditional, well, not traditional, but freestanding lace, gosh, she's such an edgy thing today. Yes, Battenburg lace is a freestanding lace because everything is going to intertwine and it's going to lock itself in together, um, so it doesn't fall apart like freestanding lace. When we generally do a simple freestanding lace, we'll start with a fill. We'll remove the underlay, and then we will change the fill. Let me hide all of this green. Hide. This, now, keep in mind, this is just a very simple freestanding lace. And then this one I would copy 3 more times. Change the stitch angles on each layer. This is a simple, good morning, Gail. This is a, oh, Jesse, you popped in too. Good morning. This is just a very simple freestanding lace. And in this case, it's just a square. Of course, with this, we could put something on top of it. We could put some edging around it, but it's just a square. We can use the same technique for other design, shapes. But it's a background piece. Battenburg lace does not have that. We're going to get rid of all of this. We're going to unhide our Battenburg again. And I promise next week I'll remember to close the window. It's so nice. The weather's so nice right now. And we're going to have to close windows and turn on the air conditioning soon enough. I kind of like to keep the window open as much as I can. So going back to 100%, this is our bag. We know just by looking at it that these are running stitch columns, satin columns in a running stitch. But what we need to do is determine how wide these columns are and what the density is. And that's very important. That's very important for this reason. Let me go find the page again. Nope, that wasn't where it was. For this reason, Battenburg lace is not made using our standard shiny, very bright machine embroidery thread. It is made using cotton thread on a heavy-duty water-soluble stabilizer. Cotton thread. It uses sewing thread. Now, of course, you want to do a nice, good quality machine sewing thread. You want a sewing thread that is not going to be overly fibrous, is not going to fall apart, it's not going to break. But, and you know, I've been doing some experimenting with sewing thread. This is in line with that. Oh, Barb, yeah, 65 with the windows open. I know, I love it. We're at 73 today. It's still nice. So Battenburg lace is stitched using cotton thread. Now, I'm sure you can use embroidery thread in creating this, but the fact that it's designed for cotton thread means that the density has to be more open to allow for those threads to lay together. So what I did was I found a segment within the file and come along, little doggy. Sometimes you just got to go look at them. And I duplicated it and I moved it. Moving, moving, moving. That's Cindy says it's 98. She's well beyond opening the windows because it's nice out. Okay, so I took it and I moved a section out so that I could get a closer look. And then I did an Eric Campbell. Eric taught us, and anybody that's interested can find Eric Campbell on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel. He also does a weekly podcast, a weekly video podcast called The Take Up. And he has talked about how to take a machine file and determine what the stitches are. For example, we know this is a satin stitch, but how wide is that satin stitch? Well, we're going to measure it. I like measuring in millimeters using the good old metric. I'm going to take the ruler tool on my software. I'm going to put it to the left and draw it over to the right. Now I'm going to round up, and what you can't see is that this column is 1.25 millimeters. 1.25 millimeters. Now, we need to know what the density is. And again, the density is measured in millimeters, and it's measured from one point to the next. This is considered one stitch. This bit right here is one stitch. So to get our density measurement, we have to measure from the start of one stitch to the start of the next stitch. So again, we're going to measure from here to here. And this is 1.3 density. So with that, and I'd already pulled one of these out for you earlier, but with that, we're going to take our simple run stitch and we're going to make it into a Battenburg column. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it into a satin column. Well, we know that's too wide. So let's go and change this. What did we have it? It was 1.25. All right, that's 1.25. And our density was 1.35. Oh, what else do we need to do? We need to get rid of the underlay. Oh, look, I'm a little bit wide here. Yep. Let's go back and change it to 1.20. 1.2. You know, it probably isn't going to make that much difference with the, oh, I just had an idea. I bet I know why. Because we automatically have compensation on this. There we are. Remove the compensation. Yay! Let's go back. We need to change our column back to 1.25. Yep. Now it looks right. Yay! And our density. Does that look about right? Okay, so I know what my settings need to be for my satin column. And I would use a running satin column like this versus trying to manually regulate the size of a satin column using a satin fill technique. I have more control using the running stitch satin. I know I'm saying running stitch, but a running satin column. Does that cover it? We are going to use a running satin column with a 1.25 wide column with a 1.35 with a 1.3 density. All right? And no underlay. But you're saying if I don't have any underlay, how's it all going to hold itself together? You're going to use running travel stitches. If you need to go from here, we're just going to make some really huge satin columns. If in your design file you need to go from point A to point B, and actually because of pathing, we want point B to actually start way down here, so it will end way up here. You're going to use a travel stitch. It's just a simple running stitch. Here's our end. We're going to bring it over here, and then we're going to bring it down here so that it will start where we want it to on point B. Now, if I were to run this, of course, it has underlay. It's too wide. The density is too big. But it would run. Get off of there. It would run back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It would stop here, pick up the travel stitch, move over, move down, and then continue. And we will run that for all of the stitch elements. And again, this one is like crazy big, crazy beautiful. And I'm sure it took a lot of time. There was probably a lot of pre-work done with pen and paper to design this and draw it out, to do your pathing, to do your layers. Because again, one of the things you have to remember is that it all has to overlay and tie into itself. Okay. Do you want to pick this up next week? I was going to do some digitizing. Do you want to pick this up or do you want to? We're at 30 minutes already. I did not sew it out yet. Um, my software tells me that the bag, that this Battenburg bag will take, and that's just one side. Remember, there are two sides. Will take 1 hour to stitch. I am really eager to give this technique a try because I want to try to make a doily. What do you think? I was thinking to start here because it's a more open design. Um, but I was thinking to try to make this doily. So what? Let me give you an idea of what I was looking at. I will go ahead and digitize this out and stitch it using sewing thread. And then next week, I'll I'll pull back parts of it and digitize it live so that you can see how it's done. Cindy, are you going to Applique Getaway this year? I will be teaching 2 classes on freestanding lace. How to digitize beginners freestanding lace and how to do a more advanced. And I might actually touch on Battenburg Lace at the end of our class at Applique Getaway. Of course, Cindy's going to Applique Getaway. She's actually helping me with the classes. So you'll find out how to make your freestanding lace. All right. All right. Okay. So everybody, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do part 2 of Battenburg Lace. I will digitize this doily. I will stitch it. And then next week we'll come back and oh, well then you'll have to catch it on the rewind now, won't you? Cindy says she will not be available next week. Doug wants to know where Applique Getaway is. Doug, Applique Getaway is the end of June this year, and it is in Irving, Texas. You fly into the Dallas Fort Worth airport and hop a shuttle, and there you are. Easy peasy. If you're interested, send me a message and I'll send you a link. Okay, everybody. Thank you for being here. All right. Well, I'm going to, Barb, if you don't make it to Applique Getaway, and I believe in our previous conversations you'd said that you probably won't be there. Barb, I'll try to record the class. How's that? Oh, all right, Cindy. We'll pick this up next week. All right. Okay, I'm going to end this now. You all have a great day. Have a great week. We'll pick up Battenburg Part 2 next week. Wasn't that fun? Do you have more questions? Do you want to learn something new? Join me at quicktostitch.com for coffee and conversation, and we'll talk about it. Embroidery machines, designs, and business. Hope to see you soon. Bye now.